In this slide, let's look at the problem we have here. It says if f of x equals to x plus 4 and g of x equals to x squared plus 1, find f of g of x and g of f of x. So looking at the first one, or the I, f of g of x. Now in this situation, f of g of x means the whole function of g becomes the domain of the function f. In other words, wherever we see x in the function f, we replace it with the whole function of g. So let's repeat our functions. F of x given to be x plus 4 and g of x x squared plus 1. So therefore f of g of x, now as we said here, g of x becomes the domain of f. So wherever we see x in the function f, we replace the whole function of g into it. So as we see x here in the function f, we are going to replace that function with, or that x with the whole function of g. So this becomes x squared plus 1 plus 4. So f of g of x becomes x squared plus, now 1 plus 4 becomes 5. So that is f of g of x. Now let's look at the second one, II. Now second one is g of f of x. Now let's repeat the functions f of x rather, which is x plus 4 and g of x also given to be x squared plus 1. So g of f of x, so in this one f of x becomes the domain of g. So wherever we see x in a function g, we replace the whole of function f into it. So let's go ahead. G of f of x becomes, now let's look at the function g, what is x squared plus 1. So the function f is going to be replaced wherever the x is. So the function f is x plus 4, and that is going to replace the x. So that will be x plus 4. And remember, the x in the g function g is squared, so we square the whole of this function plus 1. Okay, so let's continue from here. G of f of x, we now have x plus 4 all squared plus 1. Now in this we need to break down x plus 4 all squared. Now for easy understanding, because the x plus 4 is carrying an exponent of 2, it means it is multiplying itself. So that is going to give us x plus 4 multiplying another x plus 4. Then we add then we add a 1. So this one, we are going to multiply this x by x. When we are done, the same x will multiply the 4. When that is done, the 4 will multiply the x and also multiply this 4. So let's begin with this x. So this x times x will give us x squared the same x times 4 will give us 4x. So we are done with this x. Let's move on to the next term, which is 4. 4 times x is going to give us 4x. The same 4 multiplied by 4 and that will give us 16. Then plus the last term 1. So x squared, 4x plus 4s gives us 8x, and then 16 plus 1 gives us 17. Therefore, g of f of x is given to be x squared plus 8x plus 17. So that is the composite function in this problem.